Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tundra Chess. I am your host. Uh, this is version 0.4. I made some more additions, and I figured why not try to talk to you guys. As you can see, I changed the designs of the chess pieces, uh, and yeah. So I got one more subscriber. Thank you for subscribing. It just that means a lot to me because I'm doing what I love. You know, life is funny. When you think about it, you know, you you come to the realization that you don't really have a lot. You know, when you're with the people that you love, you've got a lot. That's how it is. And in the middle of it all, what do we really have, right? Um, so it's at the end of it, it's just mind numbing how boring life is. I do a lot for my family, and I just get extremely tired. Like right now, I'm exhausted. I was up for 24 hours. I slept for 6 hours, and then I got up a couple hours ago to work on this, and it's absurd how much time you have. Sometimes I look around and I'm just like, is this really what I want to do with my life? And I honestly believe I do. This is what I want to do. I want to make this chess game. I want to make a chess game that is fundamentally the same style as what you'd find on an Atari computer, or a pre Windows type PC like DOS, right? Like MS DOS 3.0. I want to make something like that. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And I'm just extremely exhausted. Uh, because it's funny because I remember a long time ago, you know, when I was working up north a lot, I would I would just get exhausted, just beat, because you're meant for great things, right? Not to sound like a hippie or anything like that, but we're all meant to do something uh, great with our lives. Some people want to draw. People draw, but in this day and age, it's like no, you can't draw. You can't. You can't do nothing because it's your whole life as a whole, if this makes any sense, is just to pretty much make it. You're a slave to the education system. You're a slave after you finish school because you work. You're a slave to build the bill companies. You're a slave to the government for paying taxes. So you don't really do anything, and those in positions of power don't want you to think like that. They call you a heretic. They call you insane. I've seen it firsthand where you always see people. They always go about. Oh shoot! They always go about this. I'm constantly being told that everything I do is, it leads up to something greater. But there's only so much you can take of the carrot being waved in your face before you realize they're full of shit, you know. And it comes to the realization quite quick in life when you realize that you could have done something great with your life. You could have uh, were meant to make something great, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people are pushed aside. A lot of people who have great ideas and great, hobbies, they're pretty much told to give that up and to grow up, to be a mindless drone, a mindless guinea pig in the machine of life. And I've seen a lot of people go down this route. I've seen amateur programmers who wanted to make their own Linux distros, and they have families, and it's like, I started this Linux distro and it's really, really great. And then at the end, it's like, okay, well, a year later, oh, is it done? And they're like, no, I had to give it up. I had to go work a second job to feed my family. And it's like, well, what does your wife do? Oh, she stays home with the kids, you know, and they live close to their families, and they can just drop the kids off with family members, but no, this is the life you live. This is the life everybody lives, and it's just so funny to see this is how it is. And I don't know. It's just really irritating, because sometimes, oh crap, because sometimes like a guy like me, I just don't give a crap. Okay, you know what? Sorry, I'm exhausted, you guys. Fudge sakes. This might be the first and only time the computer beats me. Where is it? Oh god, that's where he is. Okay. Let's see. B3. See, and I do like the system that I made though, because even though line 4, as you can see, is completely bare, it really isn't. Because line 4, you got the queen right there, and it can move from H8, oh sorry, H4 all the way to A4. So you can't technically move to uh, A4, B4, or C4. You can't really go anywhere, right? So it's pretty much telling you, like, listen, you're fucked. And I just wanted to point that out. But like getting back on topic, I just being away from your family is just really hard, and you have to put a lot on your line. Uh, you know, when I used to write software, I I wrote my own pretty much. I don't know what happened to it, but it was a very primitive uh, operating system. It was nothing like Windows or anything like that, but it was that basic, like there's a menu, and it was written in assembly, and you could write. It was this very basic thing, right? I don't know what happened to it. I was in grade 10 or 11, and I wrote it, and it was just a menu. So you boot it up, and it would be like a black background with a box similar to what you see on the chessboard, and it would be like A1. There wouldn't be like letters or anything. It'd be numbered. Like A1 would be run notebook, which would be a text document file. Then you would have B, which would be play. What was it? Play thief, which was a solitaire game, and I made this program, and it was only like boom boom, a little music player, uh, and it was something just like kind of like a BIOS thing where it would just scan all the files in it, and it was like a text editor too, and all this stuff, and it was just so simple. I I had to boot it in VM machine. It had a small kernel. I think the kernel was, oh man, no, this is talking about like, fudge. When was that? I graduated in 2003, so it would be like 2000, 2001. So we're looking at 16, 17 years, and it was just absurd. I did it for a computer programming class, and after that, it was summer vacation because I was able to get my thing going, which was nice because that's one thing you always want. You always want to have a nice little hobby, something you can write home about. It's yeah. Uh, and then after that, I forgot all about it. I've seen similar systems like that written, which is actually kind of cool. I actually love the fact that people actually do write their own little osses. They're nothing great. It's just something to do so you could be like, at a party. Somebody's like, "Oh, what do you do?" I wrote my own operating system. Anybody can make an operating system. It's dedication. That's the key. You could easily take bits and pieces from GNU, the free software movement, which I think is a joke. I don't mean to. I don't. Richard Stallman to me is just an absurd man, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that. I just can't stand Richard Stallman, uh, just because, his whole movement would have been great if it had a better spokesperson. If it had, somebody who didn't eat the dead skin off their feet, or slam a microphone on the table. If it was something like Bill Gates, where Bill Gates doesn't 99% of the time go out and show off the features of every new version of Windows, or Microsoft products. It was always somebody else. If the free software movement had somebody who's more charismatic and who didn't eat dead skin off their feet, it would have been a greater movement. It's kind of like that guy. It's kind of like George Lucas in Star Wars. You know, did you really want to do 1, 2, and 3 all by yourself and sell it to Disney and call everybody white slavers? I don't know. It's just absurd and it's ridiculous, and it is just like this is the reason why I can't get into the whole free software movement, because free software to me is a joke. That's like, oh well, they take donations and stuff. Well, honestly, in this day and age, who the hell's gonna send donation money? This isn't the shareware era. I don't know. I'm probably getting a lot of stuff wrong, and it's probably gonna piss off quite a few people. But at this point in my life, I don't really care. I just I just can't fucking be bothered with this shit. I just I work my ass off. Uh, and where does it get me? Uh, my fucking chair keeps fucking squeaking. I'm in this 8 by 10 room. Not even 8 by 10 actually. I think it's 7 by 9. Like, I got this door right here. I got this fucking mattress right here, which is hard like as a rock. I got this old office chair I'm sitting on. I'm looking out a window, and I just see 10 feet ahead of me is another person's room. Their window's wide open. You know, I'm working 11 and a half hour days. I'm losing my fucking mind. I'm obsessed with chess now. Uh, it's funny because I started this on October 4th, and I was telling my friend that I've been doing this since October 4th. Like, I got bit by the chess bug. I've always loved chess. Chess is actually one of my favorite games. Just because of the simplicity of it. It's simple, but it's complex. It's like being in a corner in the dark. It's easy to find your way out of the room, because you can just feel around. It's easy to find the door. But what if all of a sudden there's like a coffee table and furniture and racks with china on them, and to win the game, somebody says, okay, you can go find the door in this pitch black room, but you can't touch anything. And if you do, you lose a part of your body. You can't, you got to hop around then, or you can't feel with one hand. You got to use your other hand. It's kind of like that, and to me, chess is like that. It's 1,100 lines of code. I sent the code to my friend to take a look at it. God bless him. The guy is an amazing person, just an amazing programmer. And he said, how does this even work? And I was like, what are you talking about? His response was that the code is such a jangled mess that he's even shocked it's able to do this, right? It's like he's shocked I'm able to do D1 to C1. Hey, look, my piece from T surprise. Because the code is so amateurish, he said. Now for me, I love amateur code. Amateur code for me is heaven. I love spaghetti code. Spaghetti code is heaven to me, and it's just so so beautiful because it's so real, you know. But oh, excuse me. But I used to write software all the time when I was younger. I made my own word processor, which I can't find. You know, I had this huge like office box filled with source code. I would write source code in like a text file, and then I would transfer that. Then I would save it, and then I would copy and paste it into QBasic or an assembly language editor, and I would be able to make programs like that. I didn't need to use anything. I didn't need to, I didn't need the software to tell me what was wrong with it, if there was anything wrong with it. No, because there was never anything wrong with it. And then something happened, and then I just lost interest in it, and then all of a sudden, like clockwork, here I am doing this, and I just, it's one of those things where I can't help myself now. Now I'm hooked, right? So, here I am doing this with my life. Uh, D6. No, fudge. That's D5 to B6. That is D5. Okay. B6. D5, B6. Why the heck is that not working? Hmm. Oh, I'm in check. But you see what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where it's just like complete chaos. Fuck. D5 to B6. B6 to A8. Oh, for God's sakes. A3 to B4. Okay. Okay, so it's B6 to A8. There. And then I'll do H7 to F7. Let's see. G7. Oh, God. F7 to F8. Oh. But yeah, so. Okay. B4 to A5. Oh, I got checkmate. The game froze. Well, holy crap, it did. Well, anyways, that's all I wanted to say is that life is quite funny that way, Uh, I guess I found a bug. Let me take out my notepad and I'll write it. That is at B4. That's at B4 for the king. Okay. Thank God I'm recording these sessions. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Chess for me is an addiction, and I don't think I can ever give up this addiction. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not going to stop making these videos. Thank you, and have a good day.